Our next speaker is here to share how IBS's technology innovations go from conceptual design and what was discussed earlier with our earlier panelists, how do we translate that to reality? Akshay Shrivastava is the Senior Vice President and Head of IT Services for IBS. Akshay has been with IBS since 2008. Prior to his time with IBS, he worked for Emirates in various capacities, the last being as Head of Sales and Market Development at Mercator, the IT division of the group. Akshay has been involved in major IT and business initiatives for many airlines and airport handlers, including Emirates, All Nippon Airways, Swiss Air, Qantas, South African, Kingfisher, Tokyo International Air Cargo Terminal, and many others. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Akshay Shrivastava.
Thank you, Prati. Before we start looking at slides and talk about the innovation track we just had, I wanted to make a couple of points. One very simple one. Every time when we talk about innovation, we have a tendency of confusing it with invention. And we did talk about earlier in the day what's the difference between invention and innovation. And just to remind people, invention is really about creating something for the first time. Whereas innovation is about taking something that already has been invented and making better use of it for a better purpose, improving it, or finding a different way of using it. Sometimes for making money, as somebody said earlier today, but I think also for bigger and better purposes for which we exist. That's one thing. And just to simplify, because sometimes we understand better with examples, so when Thomas Edison created a light bulb, he was inventing. When Wright brothers created the first powered aircraft, they were inventing. When Steve Jobs went and created iPad, he was innovating. When Steve Jobs went and created iPhone, he was innovating. So Steve Jobs was taking things that were already there and improving upon them to bring about a difference to the society. So that's a subtle difference between invention and innovation. And so when we talk about innovation, we are not talking about creating something for the first time ever. It is about using the technologies that already exist and applying them for improving the businesses of our customers and our customers' customer. For me personally, when I talk about IBS and innovation, my IBS innovation story starts way back in 2001, 2002. I used to work for an airline, and IBS reached out to us at that time and said, airline, you're using systems that were built 20, 30 years back. They are very rigid. They are inflexible. They are coming in the way of you improving your processes, changing your business with changing times. And therefore, there's a need for you to use innovative solutions, which meant applying newer technologies to build new solutions, which would do what these old systems were doing, and also to do new things. And we airline, our response to IBS was, no, that won't work, because all these new technologies are not going to give us the reliability, the scalability, the response times those green systems were giving us, green screens were giving us in a few milliseconds. So we said, no, it won't work for us. IBS believed in what they were saying, and they went ahead and invested millions of dollars building those systems. To my knowledge, IBS was the first company on earth who actually built mission-critical systems for airlines using Java and Oracle. Systems like iCargo, iFlyRes, iLoyal, many others that you use today. They were innovating when they built those systems. There were many more who followed and used similar technologies and built that, but using Java, using Oracle, building a passenger rest system or a cargo management system, that was innovation, with which my story of innovation with IBS started. And that has continued ever since. And today we tried in our session to give a sense of what we are inventing today or what we are innovating today with, the technologies that are there, how we are going to be using them to make a difference to our customers' business and customers' customer business. So I'll try and take you through a few 6-7 slides, give you a sense of what we talked about. And the purpose really is to seek interest from you. If you find the things that we're talking about are of relevance to your business, you think they can make a difference to your business, then please reach out to us, any of us, and we'll be more than happy to take those ideas forward, possibly do some proof of concepts, build POCs for you, and see where it goes. The intent is just not to update you, but actually seek interest and inputs from you guys. Yeah. So the way we went about today was we pretty much created a storyboard. We said there's a family of 4 who's going to travel on vacation, and what their typical journey would be like, especially if you were to use modern technologies and apply them so that they have a better experience. So we found, and this has been studies done and published, and we also did a bit of research in the last few months, and we found that today, especially for the people who are between 20 to 40 years of age, their decisions significantly get influenced by what's happening on social media, what their friends, family, other people are telling them when they're planning vacation. And I gave an example that, when we were planning to go to Venice in summer, and immediately the reaction from my son's friends on Facebook was, "Oh, don't go in summer to Venice, it won't be nice." And we changed our plans. So things like those happen in everyday's life today, everybody's life. So what we talked about is that how could we pretty much bring about the social media search that happens in parallel to our traditional search and bring them together in our solutions going forward. It could be for a travel company, it could be for an airline holiday company, where people don't have to do 2 things in parallel, don't have to go and do your normal traditional searches, and then separately work out on Facebook and Twitter and everywhere else what the world is talking about. Somehow, if we could bring them together in a common search engine, intelligent search engine, that would be of help. Further, then, it was very interesting, and people who were not in the room missed out. We actually distributed Google Cards, and the intention really was for everybody to get a feeling of what we call immersive experience, which really is about feeling or getting a sense of the place where you're planning to go. And again, a case study where one of the travel agencies in Japan confirmed to us that once they started using immersive experience, they saw actually their sales going up by 190%, which was basically people putting on these glasses and seeing the place where they were planning to go and selecting, saying, "Yeah, I want to go here and not go there." So that was a case study as well. We also looked at saying, how are we actually going to be using things like wearables to improve the customer experience? So there was a case study where we actually went about tracking a customer wearing an Apple Watch, sending him alerts when he was getting late to get to the gate, waking him up when he pretty much is busy smoking and lost track of time, and also getting him to board. So the whole check-in and boarding process using an Apple Watch, we demonstrated the boarding process. So that was another case study that we talked about. And then taking it forward. So the customer is wearing an Apple Watch. That was a demonstration we carried out. And we said, what happens when he gets into the flight? So making the crew aware of this customer's preferences, the past experiences, what he or she likes, doesn't like, feedback from the loyalty program, past purchases, all of that, so that the crew can provide a more personalized experience to the customer. We also talked about, this is more into space of loyalty, taking it forward, where we talked about once the customer or the client lands in his vacation place, could we do more? If he or she is a loyalty program member, what else is possible? And they're further enhancing the experience, including integrating with Google Maps and providing augmented reality for better experience. Interestingly, very important trend that's there, and in fact some of the customers confirmed to us that there is a need for people to react very quickly to what's happening on social media. One of the statistics is that currently there are something like 630 million tweets that happen every day, and something like 33 million out of those are about airlines. So those airlines need to know what their customers are telling them. And surprisingly, or not so surprisingly, if you understand human behavior, the bad news travels fast and it gets augmented, increased, multiplied many, many times when it's bad news. Somebody having a bad experience versus somebody is having a good experience. So therefore, the need to quickly react is very fast. So we talked about how could we help through the technology where you could read the data out of social media, analyze it, and then use it very quickly so that you can minimize the damage that bad news can or bad feedback can do. Taking on further analytics, we talked about improving operational efficiencies of airlines. How could we do it? We talked about a few case studies, things like improving on-time performance. We wanted to show a case study using drones. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it to the group that we had because the cargo team chose to use the drone at the same time. But there's a fantastic case study, things like taking stock of assets like ULDs on an airport, which currently is a very manual process where somebody goes around the airport, counting the ULDs, identifying them. Using drone for it is a fantastic idea. We've done POCs on that, and we hope to take that forward. Our cargo team and my team, both of them have access to it. If anybody is interested, we can demonstrate it any time. Along with this, there's another use case, which again, MRO team was showing it today, so we did not show in the innovation track, which is really about use of Google Glasses in the space of maintenance and engineering. As the people who know about maintenance engineering in aircraft, it's tedious job, requires both your hands because you're dealing with stuff that needs to be changed, moved around. At the same time, you have to refer to documentation, thick manuals, some very big ones. So it's difficult for the same person to be going through the documentation at the same time doing the physical activities of changing nuts and bolts and parts. So we did a proof of concept with one of the leading airlines where we're using Google Glass, where the whole documentation is available on the Google Glass. So you pretty much your hands are free. You're not using your hand for changing pages or moving around the documentation. So you can, using Google Glass, go through the document while carrying out engineering activities. So that proof of concept is, again, available. Anybody is interested, we can show it. And the last bit that we covered really is that despite all the best technology, best solutions that you can put in place, you could still get defeated if you are not consistent in providing the service to the customer. And that's where ongoing continuous training, people being up to speed, comes in play. While people go for classroom trainings, we did a case study where we talked about using computer-based accelerated experience. We showed it for iFlyRS, but it's doable for any of our IBS systems as well as any other system. So if people who find interest in that, and if you want us to look at whatever system you're using and you want your employees to stay current with that, we'll be more than happy to build that. So before we go any further, I do want to identify some people, and if they can please stand up, right, starting from Arun, who did all the work and got me to stand up here and talk. Arun, where are you? Could you please stand up? Arun, Bino, John, Siju, Ram, Sandhya, Vijay. Yeah. So these are the people behind the innovation work that we've been doing, the work that we presented. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm here on your behalf, talking about all the good work that you have done. Thank you for that. So that's about it really from me. Just wanted to give you a sense of what we have done. And as I said, at least 3 or 4 times during 3 years of the track, the intention really was not to show to you and say these are the solutions. The intention was to show you some of the possibilities that we are able to conceive. And if you have case studies of similar kind, you see interest in your businesses, you want us to work with you and do some proof of concepts to figure out whether this would work in real life scenarios in your businesses to improve the businesses, we'll be more than happy to take up that task. So feel free reach out to me or any of your IBS contacts, and we'll be happy to take it forward. Thank you so much. Thank you.